Even to them he shows compassion, such as Krishna. Then we servitors will not feel bad in this way. He's asking. He says, it pains us actually. We are his servitors and it pains us when we stand at how he and we remember that how Krishna stands before King Ugrasen. He is sitting on the royal throne, and there Krishna is standing and submitting his explanation. Oh my Lord, oh my King, let it be known to you. 25th verse. I think we did this also, 25th. Okay.
No, Mataji. No, Mataji.
वसुदेवस्य देवक्यां जातो भेजेन्द्रवन्दने चिकीर्षुर्भगवानस्य शमजेनाभियाचितः. The personality of God and Lord Sri Krishna being prayed to by Brahma to bring welfare to the earth was begotten by Vasudeva in the womb of his wife Devaki in the prison of the king of Bhuja. Vasudevasya, that means the wife of Vasudeva, Devakyan, in the womb of Devaki, Jataha, born, Bhojaindraha, of the king of Bhujas, Bandhane, in the prison house, Chikirshu, for doing, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Ashyaha, of the earth, Sham, welfare, Ajena, by Brahma, Abhicha, Abhiyachitaha, being prayed for. Now, it is Brahma who prayed that for the welfare of the earth, please come. Then Lord appears in the womb of Devaki. This is also very surprising. He is Ajaha, he is never born. Although there is no difference between Lord's pastimes of appearance and disappearance, the devotees do not generally discuss the subject matter of his disappearance. Now, what did Vidura inquire? Actually, indirectly, Vidura inquired from Uddhava about the disappearance. But instead of that, now what is Uddhava doing? Uddhava is only speaking about the appearance and various pastimes. Actually, they don't discuss about the disappearance. Okay. In the same way, the for the saintly people, we don't discuss about their past, and for the thieves, we don't discuss about the future. Never discuss about the future of any criminal person. We don't know whose life will be changed. And saintly people, we should never discuss about their past. Now here about Lord, never discuss about the disappearance. Always discuss this because Lord never disappears. Lord is always present. Many people go and visit the place where the arrow was shot and all those things. We don't go to that place. Many times, what is the place known as Prabhat Kshetra in Dwarka? We don't go to that place. Many times devotees ask me, Mataji, take us to Again, no. Once I went, I thought, why did I go there? They made samadhi and all those things. Nonsense. Why samadhi and all for Krishna? So, okay. You're not well, Vrindavan, Ila Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, voice is.
Aruna, you read. Today we'll give Mataji rest. You read. She'll
Hare
hear.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Read.
Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 25. वासुदेवस्य देवक्यां जातो भोजेन्द्रबन्धने चिकीर्षुर्भगवानस्य शमजेनाभियाचितः. Translation: The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna, being prayed to by Brahma to bring welfare to earth, was begotten by Vasudeva in the womb of his wife Devaki in the prison of the king of Bhoja. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Although there is no difference between the Lord's pastimes of appearance and disappearance, the devotees of the Lord do not generally discuss the subject matter of his disappearance. Vidura inquired indirectly from Uddhava about the incident of Lord's disappearance by asking him to relate Krishna Katha or topics on the history of Lord Krishna. Thus, Uddhava began the topics from the very beginning of his appearance as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki in the prison of Kamsa, the king of Bhojas at Mathura. The Lord has no business in this world, but when he is so requested by devotees like Brahma, he descends on the earth for the welfare of the entire universe. This is stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.8. परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. हरे कृष्ण.
ततो
It
नन्दव्रजम्
is
इतः
Vasudev, na Mataji? Vasudev. Vasudev, na
What?
Mataji?
Vasudev?
हाँ.
Who told Vasudev? Son
Mataji
of
to
Vasudev.
Aruna Mataji read Vasudev. That's why I'm telling.
Oh, is
By
it?
mistake.
Sorry, Vasudev, Vasudev.
हाँ Mataji.
ततो नन्दव्रजम् इतः पित्रा कंसा विबिभ्यता विबिभ्यता एकादश समास्तत्र गूढार्ची सबलो वसत्. Tato thereafter Nandavrajam, cow pastures of Nanda Maharaj, Taha, being brought up, Pitra by his father, Kamsa from Kamsa, Vibhibhata, being afraid of Ekadasha, 11, Samaha years, Tatra therein, Gudha Archaha, covered fire, Sabala, with Baladev, Avashat, decided. So what did his father do? Vasudev, what did he do? He was very afraid of Kamsa, so he brought him to the cow pastures of Maharaj Nanda. खेत खलियान में लेके आ गए. He is actually a king, isn't it? He should be in the palace. He is brought to the cow pastures. He said, अरे गौशाला में डाल देते ठहरो. The cow pastures. And there he lived for 11 years like a covered flame with his elder brother, Baladev. In this way, Lord exhibited the most simplest of our pastime. Generally, a person who is born in the city doesn't go to the village. Just imagine if you send your child, you tell your son, now you give up everything, now you go to the forest, and that you go to the place where cows are there, then wow. So cows are there. Will not send, isn't it? Okay, now managing that the son. How can he go to the forest? How can he go and tend the cows? My mother used to tell my sister, I remember, if you don't study, I'll send you to Goshala. She used to tell me also sometimes. Then I was thinking, now the word has come true. Now only I came from Goshala. Generally, we go and visit, isn't it? We don't go and stay there. We don't go and tend the cows. But Krishna did that. He used to milk the cows also. He used to milk the cows, he used to tend the cows, he used to love the cows. So this is actually, now Uddhava says, this all things are bewildering me. He is born to a king. Vasudev is a king, Bhoja dynasty. Okay. Aruna, Raksha,
हाँ Mataji. Shloka 26. ततो नन्दव्रजमीतः पित्रा कंसा विभिद्यता एकादश समास्तत्र गूढाचि सबलो वसत्. Translation. Thereafter his father, being afraid of Kamsa, brought him to the cow pasture of Maharaj Nanda, and there he lived for 11 years like a covered flame with his elder brother Baldeva. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. There was no necessity of the Lord's being dispatched to the house of Nanda Maharaj out of fear of Kamsa's determination to kill him as soon as he appeared. It is the business of the Asura to try to kill the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or to prove by all means that there is no God, or that Krishna is an ordinary human being and not God. Lord Krishna is not affected by such determination of men of Kamsa's class. But in order to play the role of child, he agreed to be carried by his father to the cow pasture of Nanda Maharaj because Vasudev was afraid of Kamsa. Nanda Maharaj was due to receive him as his child, and Yashoda Mai was also to enjoy the childhood pastime of the Lord and therefore to fulfill everyone's desire. He was carried from Mathura to Vrindavan just after his appearance in the prison house of Kamsa. He lived there for 11 years and completed all his fascinating pastimes of childhood, boyhood, and adolescence with his elder brother, Lord Baldeva. His first expansion, Vasudev's show of protecting Krishna from the wrath of Kamsa, is part of transcendental relationship. The Lord enjoys more when someone takes him as his subordinate son who needs the protection of the Father than he does when someone accepts him as the Supreme Lord. He is the father of everyone and he protects everyone. But when his devotee takes it for granted that the Lord is to be protected by the devotee's care, it is transcendental joy for the Lord. That's when Vasudev, out of fear of Kamsa, carried him to Vrindavan. The Lord enjoyed it. Otherwise, he had no fear from Kamsa or anyone else. Hare Krishna.
Okay, next one. Parito Vatsa Vatsapayed Charayan Viharan. 1 minute, I'm getting a call here. 1 minute. Krishna. ठीक है, भक्ति पढ़ना. Sometimes like this in between. Parito Vatsapaye Vatsamscharayan Viharat Vibhuhu Yamunopavane Puja Dvicha Sankulitanghripen Paritaha, surrounded by Vatsapai, covered boys, Vatsan, calves, Charayan, herding, tending, Viharat, enjoyed by traveling, Vibhuvu, the Almighty, Yamuna, the Yamuna river, Upavane, gardens on the shore, Puja, vibrated by the boys, Vija, the twice born birds, Sankulitaha, densely situated, Agripa in the trees. Just excuse me. So he's surrounded by whom? Covered boys and Vatsan, calves. And he's herding and enjoying the travelers. He's walking on the shore of Yamuna. And he's walking in the garden. Garden is covered with the trees, filled with vibrations of chirping birds. See, Krishna enjoys this. Maya Mrugam Daita Ipsita Anvadhava. Maya Mrugam. We have the verse. Vande Mahapurushate Charana. What is that verse? त्यक्त्वा सुतुस्तज्य सुरेप्सितराज्यलक्ष्मीम् धर्मिष्ठ आर्यवचसा यदगादरण्यम् धर्मिष्ठ आर्यवचसा यदगादरण्यम्. This is the verse for that. Just because father wanted, he went to the forest. And what is he doing? Maya mrugam daitaipsitam anvadhavad. Sita ji says, see that beautiful mrugam is there, immediately runs behind. Krishna runs behind the gopis, especially is Maya Mrugam Daita Ipsita. Ipsita means he loves so much Radharani that he just jumps up and down and he just encircles her. He does parikrama, Radharani all the time and jumping up and down. And that is how he behaves like this. He is playing. He is almighty, he is playing on the shores of Yamuna. What a position he has. And here, some stupid positions a person gets, isn't it? Vice president or maybe director of a company. Will he do all these things? Isn't it? Will he do? He is the absolute personality of God. Will he? He is doing like this. Playing flute also on top of that. If you see this, what Lord has done, pee pee karke flute. Is he not behaving so playfully with everyone? So what Bhagya Vrajavasis have, they have got that Krishna which nobody can get. Which nobody can get. I was telling Prabhuji, see, I'm not going to call him Maharaj and all, I'm going to call him Prabhuji. Sometimes it happens, what is this? You got a position, then you expect everybody there. So this happens. Like this, Krishna played on the shore, and that too is surrounded by whom? Cowherd boys. They don't have any position also. Who they are? Gwalas. All the Gwalas are there. On top of that, calf is there. What a simple, simple position Krishna has taken. That is why he says, my pet name is Govinda. You call me Govinda. Because he loves to be connected with go, this word go. This go refers to gopis, gopas, go means cows. Mother Earth, everything is there. Bhu Lakshmi, Shri Lakshmi, they're all there. But that is again exhibiting his opulence. When we say go, the simplicity is these three go. That is cows, gopis, and the gopas. Who they are? Simple people, simple hearted people. They are actually villagers. Vrindavan is what? It's a village. No? It's a village. It's a aranya. Yadagadharanyam. Dharmishta Arivachasa Yadagadharanyam. That is how Narada speaks to Vasudev about the bhagya which Vasudev got. The 11th canto speaks about the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In that Vande Mahapurushate Charanar Vindam, this verse refers to all the three aspects of Krishna, as Rama, as Chaitanya. So Krishna proved the words of his father to be true. Dharmishta Ari Vachasadagatharanya. Maya Mrugam Daitipsitam Anvadhava. He's running. He's running in the farms. He's running behind the gopis. He runs and jumps behind Radharani. That is what is the verse. Okay. Can you read or will you be coughing? I think you can read.
Shall I
Read.
try in the next verse, Mataji?
Okay,
I'll
next
try
verse.
to drink water and soothe it.
Yeah, that is super one. Okay, Aruna, read.
Hare Krishna. Text 27. Parito vatsapairvatsam Sharayan vyahara vibhu Yamuno pavane kujad Vijasankulitangripe. Translation. In his childhood, the Almighty Lord was surrounded by cowherd boys and calves, and thus he traveled on the shores of the Yamuna river through gardens densely covered with trees and filled with vibrations of chirping birds. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nanda Maharaja was a landholder for King Kamsa, but because by caste he was a Vaisya, a member of the mercantile and agricultural community, he maintained thousands of cows. It is a duty of the Vaishyas to give protection to the cows, just as the Kshatriyas are to give protection to the human beings. Because the Lord was a child, he was put in charge of the calves with his cowherd boyfriends. These cowherd boys were great rishis and yogis in their previous births, and after many such pious births, they gained the association of the Lord and could play with him on equal terms. Such cowherd boys never cared to know who Krishna was, but they played with him as a most intimate and lovable friend. They were so fond of the Lord that at night they would only think of the next morning when they would be able to meet the Lord and go together to the forest for cowherding. The forests on the shore of the Yamuna are all beautiful gardens full of trees of mango, jackfruit, apples, guava, oranges, grapes, berries, palm fruit, and so many other plants and fragrant flowers.
Somebody is speaking.
And because the forest was on the bank of the Yamuna, naturally there were ducks, cranes, and peacocks on the branches of the trees. All these trees and birds and beasts
One
were
minute, one minute.
pious living entities
There's a lot
born
of
in the
disturbance
transcendent.
coming. 1 minute, 1 minute. Chaturvedi Prabhu, you mute your phone. You're in train now. Mute your phone here.
He is muted, yeah. All these trees and birds and beasts were pious living entities born in the transcendental abode of Vrindavana just to give pleasure to the Lord and his eternal associates, the cowherd boys. While playing like a small child with his associates, the Lord killed many demons, including Aghasura, Bakasura, Pralambasura, and Gardhabasura. Although he appeared at Vrindavana just as a boy, he was actually like the covered flames of a fire, as a small particle of fire can kindle a great fire with fuel. So the Lord killed all these great demons, beginning from his boyhood in the house of Nanda Maharaja, the land of Vrindavana. The Lord's childhood playground still remains today, and anyone who visits these places enjoys the same transcendental bliss, although the Lord is not physically visible to our imperfect eyes. Lord Chaitanya recommended this land of the Lord as identical with the Lord and therefore worshipable by the devotees. This instruction is taken up specially by the followers of Lord Chaitanya, known as the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And because the land is identical with the Lord, devotees like Uddhava and Vidura visited these places 5,000 years ago in order to have direct contact with the Lord, visible or not visible. Thousands of devotees of the Lord are still wandering in these sacred places of Vrindavana, and all of them are preparing themselves to go back home, back to Godhead. Hare
What a
Krishna.
nice word, wandering. Wandering in these places of Vrinda. Read. They're over. So now also, devotees, what they're doing, they're wandering in this place. And they are preparing themselves to go back home. At least you're wandering Vrindavan, it is enough for you to go back and back to God, right? Vrindavan is not different from Krishna. And all devotees should go there only. It is why it is said, you take the consciousness of Vrindavan and be wherever you are and do the service which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given through his disciples. कौमारीं दर्शयश्चेष्टां प्रेक्षणीयां व्रजौकसां रुद्रन्निव हसन्मुग्धा बालकिं महावलोकनः. Koumarim, just suitable child. Right, don't talk. बड़े प्रभु,
हाँ
I think
मतलब
you mute your phone, mute your
वोट नहीं है एक मिनट करता हूँ
phone. Don't see your talking. You train. He met with an accident yesterday. It will join the class. Shoka moha bhyapa. Mute your phone. Still unmute only. Yasyam vai Shrimanayam Krishna Parama Purushe. He utpaddite pumsam shoka moha bhyapa. One can come out of all these fears. Again, talking from all this side now. What is this Gautam doing? He is a host, na? Okay. Kaumarim Darshayam Cheshtam. Kaumarim means just suitable to childhood. Darshan, while showing. Cheshtam activities. Prekshaniyam, worthy to be seen. Braja Oksham, Okasam, by the inhabitants of the land of Vrindavan. Rudan, crying, Iva. Just like Hasan, laughing, Mugdha, struck with wonder. Balasimha, Lion Club, Avalokanaha, looking like. So when the Lord displayed his activities just suitable for childhood, he was visible only to the residents of Vrindavan. He was visible only to the residents of Vrindavan. That is why the first verse of Bhagavatam says, Janmadisya Tanvayaditarata Charte Shavikya Sura Tene Brahma Udaya Adi Kavi Bhuyanti Yat Sure. He put even the demigods in bewilderment. Was his leelas, childhood leelas, were only visible to the residents of Vrindavan. Others, when they see also, they were bewildered. They were not able to understand. Sometimes he would cry, sometimes laugh, just like a child. And while so doing, he would appear like a lion cub. So Vrindavan Vasis, they don't know anyone except Krishna. They were relishing the sweetness of Krishna, even though Krishna sometimes used to display his opulence, but they could not accept it. For they know only Narayana. To such an extent, in the gopis, when they came in search of Krishna, Krishna stood in four-handed form. They asked to Krishna only, did you see our Krishna? They asked to Narayana. For them, he is Narayana. Then when Radharani comes, the two hands fall down. He cannot even display the opulence before Radharani. Even though they may know, they may not know. They were not knowing actually is God. But they don't know anyone except Krishna. Now for Brahma and others, they are seeing this child and they are confused. Oh, we saw him killing Aghasur just now. And now what is this? He's sitting and having food with everyone. That is how Brahma is put in illusion. That means these activities cannot be understood by the, when you say cannot be seen, it cannot be understood. It cannot be understood by anybody except the Brajavasis. The sweetness of Krishna cannot be understood, cannot be realized also. Cannot be understood here means cannot be seen, means cannot be understood, cannot be even seen, cannot be realized also by anyone. Krishna did not allow that. Krishna did not allow his sweetness to be seen by everyone. Okay. So Bindu Mataji, you read.
Mataji, shall I try?
Right?
Kamarim darshayamschishtam prekshinam vrajakosam rudan iva hasan mugdha balasimha balokanaha. When the Lord displayed his activities just suitable for childhood, he was visible only to the residents of Vrindavan. Sometimes he would cry and sometimes laugh, just like a child. And while so doing, he would appear like a lion cub. Purport. If anyone wants to enjoy the childhood pastimes of the Lord, then he has to follow in the footsteps of the residents of Vraja, like Nand, Upanand, and other parental inhabitants. A child may insist on having something and cry like anything to get it, disturbing the whole neighborhood. And then immediately after achieving the desired thing, he laughs. Such crying and laughing is enjoyable to the parents and elderly members of the family. So the Lord would simultaneously cry and laugh in this way and merge his devotee parents in the humor of transcendental pleasure. These incidents are enjoyable only by the residents of Vraja, like Nanda Maharaj, and not by the impersonalist worshippers of Brahman or Paramatma. Sometimes, when attacked in the forest by demons, Krishna would appear struck with wonder, but he looked on them like the cub of a lion and killed them. His childhood companions would also be struck with wonder, and when they came back home, they would narrate the story to their parents, and everyone would appreciate the qualities of their Krishna. Child Krishna did not belong only to his parents, Nanda and Yashoda. He was the son of all the elderly inhabitants of Vrindavan and the friend of all contemporary boys and girls. Everyone loved Krishna. He was the life and soul of everyone, including the animals, the cows, and the calves. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary nicely said, Krishna displayed crying like a child without the typical symptoms of tears. No tears, but crying. That is why that verse is there. Rudam tam. What is that verse? Second verse. What is the second verse? Damodarashtakam.
रुदन्तं
रुदन्तं
मुहुर्नेत्रयुग्
मुहुर्नेत्र मृगं मृजन्तं कराम्बोजयुग्मेन सातङ्कनेत्रम्
Just rubbing the eyes.
मुहुर्श्वासकं पात्रिरेखाककण्ठ सिद्धग्रैव दामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम्.
Just rubbing the eyes. And then Krishna is surprised. There is a big pond which is created from where these tears came. I'm not crying actually. So devotees, they came in the form of tears just to take the mercy of his hands, to touch his hands and kiss his hands, kiss his cheeks, kiss all his angas when it's falling down. So in this way, the devotees take all the opportunity. Here, Vishnu Thakur writes, sometimes before elderly people, he used to cry, stubbornly asking, I want that thing. I want that thing. And actually, he displayed that he's very afraid of fierce animals. But when Asuras is to come, he used to show his bravery. He used to threaten them. So this is like a very anxiety. This is to create anxiety to the parents also. When Putra came, he simply sat. He did not even open the eyes. Actually, when Putna came, he did not open the eyes because if he opens the eyes, Putna will be afraid and she'll run away. That is why he did not open the eyes and he did not want to see that woman to whom he is going to kill. Generally, in the Kshatriya code, it is there. Cannot kill a woman. Now he's going to kill a woman. So that is why he did not see. There are reasons why Krishna did not open the eyes. Without opening the eyes, he's sitting on the lap of Putana, sucking the breast. That means he's showing his bravery also. At the same time, when mother takes the stick and runs behind Krishna, there he goes and sits on the top of the mortar. Why? He's afraid of dogs. So he can do any activity. All these activities bewilder the devotees like Uddhava. How is it? Why he is doing like this? It's so bewildering, isn't it? स एव बोधनं लक्ष्म्या निकेतं सितगोभृशं चारयन्ननु गान् गोपान् रणद्वेणुररीरमाद सः he, Lord Krishna, eva certainly bodhanam, the treasure of cows, lakshmyah, by opulence, niketam, reservoir, sita govrusham, beautiful cows and bulls, charayan, herding, anugan, the followers, gopan, cowherd boys, ranat, flowing, venu, flute, ariramat, and lion. So when herding the very beautiful bulls, Krishna used to herd bulls, cows also, bulls also. Bulls generally was very dear to Balaram. Krishna used to herd the cows, but here now very beautiful bulls also used to herd. The Lord, who was a reservoir of all opulence and fortune, used to blow his flute, and thus he enlivened his faithful followers, the cowherd boys. So playing the flute, he used to walk along with the bulls, along with the cows, and in this way, he used to enliven them. And beautiful sound of the flute, just by hearing this, the gopis also used to run and come, not even caring where they are wearing, what they are doing, whether they are dressed or not proper, they are dressed properly or not. Just to run, just to madden everyone. They used to leave their work as it is, and that's just Venu Geet is there. They used to just give up what they were doing and just run behind Krishna. In this way, he was just mesmerizing everyone. And your Lord is the Lord who is the object of worship, who is the object of one's eyes, who is the, you can say, the festival of the eyes, Nayana Utsavaha. Such a wonderful Lord is walking with the flute, playing the flute. So in this way, Krishna, once he comes to the Pauganda age, that is where he goes inside the Vana, Vrindavana. Okay. Bindu, can you read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. स एव गोदनं लक्ष्म्या निकेतं सीतगो वृषं चारयन् अनुगान् गोपान् जनद्वेणुररिरमत्. Translation: while herding the very beautiful bulls, the Lord, who was the reservoir of all opulence and fortune, used to blow his flute, and thus he enlivened his faithful followers, the cowherd boys. Purpose: as he grew to 6 and 7 years old, the Lord was given charge of looking after the cows and bulls in the grazing grounds. He was the son of a well-to-do landholder who owned hundreds and thousands of cows. And according to Vedic economics, one is considered to be rich man by the strength of his store of grains and cows. With only these two things, cows and grain, humanity can solve its eating problem. Human society needs only sufficient grain and sufficient cows to solve its economic problems. All other things, but these two are artificial necessities created by man to fill his valuable life at the human level and waste his time in things which are not needed. Lord Krishna, as the teacher of human society, personally showed by his act that the mercantile society or the Vaishyas should herd cows and bulls and thus give protection to the valuable animals. According to Smriti regulation, the cow is the mother and the bull is the father of the human being. The cow is the mother because just as one sucks the breast of one's mother, human society takes cow's milk. Similarly, the bull is the father of human society because the father earns for the children just as the bull tills the ground to produce food grains. Human society will kill its spirit of life by killing the father and the mother. It is mentioned herein that the beautiful cows and bulls were of various checkered colors: red, black, green, yellow, ash, etc. And because of their colors and healthy smiling features, the atmosphere was enlivening. Over and above all, the Lord used to play his celebrated flute. The sound vibrated by his flute would give his friends such transcendental pleasure that they would forget all the talks of the Brahmanda because he is so praised by the impersonalists. These cowherd boys, as will be explained by Sukhdev Goswami, were living entities who had accumulated heaps of pious acts and thus were enjoying with the Lord in person and were hearing its transcendental flute. The Brahma Samhita 5.30 confirms the Lord's blowing his transcendental flute. Venu Kwalantamaravinda Dalayakaksham Barha
Barhavatam,
Tambuda
Barhavatam.
Sundarangam Kandarpakoti Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Tamaham Bhajami. Brahmaji said, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who plays on his transcendental flute. His eyes are like lotus flowers. He is decorated with peacock plumes, and his bodily color resembles of fresh black clouds, although his bodily features are more beautiful than millions of cupids. These are the special features of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Venum Parantamaravindalayakaksham Barhavatam Samasitambujasundarangam Kandarpakotikamaniya Govindamadipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Make it sure that you are memorizing the whole Brahma Samhita. It said every day you should sing Brahma Samhita. Brahma is our whole Sampradaya is Brahma Madhva Gaud Sampradaya, isn't it? Brahma is our Adi Guru. So we should learn the verses which Brahmaji has given. Venu Panantamaravinda Dalayataksham. He is playing his transcendental flute. Aravinda Dalayataksham. He has lotus eyes. His eyes are compared with the lotus flowers. Varaha Vatam. He has a peacock feather. His color is so beautiful. Asitam Buddha Sundarangam. Very beautiful. Kandarpa Kotikamaniya Visheshobham. Thousands and millions of cupids are attracted to his bodily feature. These are the special features of the Lord. Lord holding the flute is the topmost of all his forms. Lord holding Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, that is there. Leaving that 400 form, catching the 200 form, and having flute in his hand, that is the topmost. Lord is having bow and arrow, 200 form. That is, Lord is having Kamandalu and Danda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is how Krishna shows the 6-handed form, 6-armed form to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. We are doing the chapters in there. So we'll do this also verse. Prayuktan Bhojarajen Mayinah Kamarupinah Leelaya Vyanudattan Stan Balah Kridan Balah Kridanakaniva Prayuktan engaged Bhojarajena by King Kamsa Mayinah king wizards Kamarupinah who could assume any form they liked, Kamarupinah. Leelaya, in the course of the pastime, Venuda killed them, as they came there, Balaha, the child, Kridanakan, dolls, even like that. So the great wizards who were able to assume any form were engaged by the king of Bhoja, Musa, to kill Krishna. But in the course of his pastime, the Lord killed them as easily as a child breaks dolls. That is why Lord performed Leela. Leela means play. When you say pastime, what is a pastime? Playing pastime. For him to kill Shaktasura, he doesn't have to show his strength and all. Just lift the legs and touch the Shakatasura, who was coming down to press him like sandwich. There he is pressing. And here Lord is just lifting his legs. And that too, he did not even stretch also, like Vamana. He did not even stretch his legs. He just kept like that, came, just touched him. And all the friends had to describe it. When they asked how this whole cart broke, and we only saw Krishna just lifting his legs. They could not believe this. So this is just a pastime entering the mouth of Agasur. What did he do? Just entered, walked inside. And what did he do inside? Just grew so big and then cut his throat. So for Krishna to perform pastime, he doesn't have to exhibit the power because he is all powerful. All the powers emanate from him. Okay, Aruna dear.
Hare Krishna. Text 30. Prayuktan Bhojarajena Mahina Kamarupinah Leelaya Vyanudattam Stan Balakridanakaniva. Translation. The great wizards who were able to assume any form were engaged by the king of Bhoja, Kamsa, to kill Krishna. But in the course of his pastimes, the Lord killed them as easily as a child breaks dolls. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The atheist Kamsa was to kill Krishna just after his birth. He failed to do so, but later on he got information that Krishna was living in Vrindavana at the house of Nanda Maharaja. He therefore engaged many wizards who could perform wonderful acts and assume as many forms as they liked. All of them appeared before the child Lord in various forms like Agha, Baka, Putana, Shakata, Trinavarta, Dhenuka, and Gardhaba. And they tried to kill the Lord at every opportunity. But one after the another, all of them were killed by the Lord as if he were only playing with dolls. Children play with tiny lions, elephants, boars, and many similar dolls, which are broken by the children in the course of their playing with them. Before the Almighty Lord, any powerful living being is just like a toy lion in the hands of a playing child. No one can excel God in any capacity, and therefore no one can be equal to or greater than Him, nor can anyone attain the stage of equality with Lord by any kind of endeavor. Jnana, yoga, and bhakti are three recognized processes of spiritual realization. The perfection of such processes can lead one to the desired goal of life in spiritual value, but that does not mean that it does not mean that one can attain a perfection equal to the Lord's by such endeavors. The Lord is the Lord at every stage. When he was playing just like a child on the lap of his mother Yashoda Mai, or just like a coward boy with his transcendental friends, he continued to remain God without the slightest diminution of his six opulences. Thus, he is always unrivaled. Hare Krishna.
Okay, next. Vipannan Vishayamen
Vishapanena
Vipannan
Bhujagadipam Dipam
Gadipam. Mute your
Utthapi
mute your phone. Utthapya Gavas Tat Toyam Prakriti Sthitam Vipannah Vipanna perplexed in great difficulties Vishapanena by drinking poison, then Nigraha subduing Bhujaga Adhipam, that means the chief of the reptiles, Uthapya, after coming out, Paya caused to drink Gava, the cows, such that flowing water, Prakriti natural, city, Sitam, situated. The inhabitants of Vrindavan were perplexed by great difficulties because the second portion of Yamuna was poisoned by the chief of the reptiles, that is Kalia. The Lord chastised the snake king within the water and drove him out. And after coming out of the river, he caused the cows to drink the water and proved that the water was again in its natural state. This Sri Krishna performed wonderfully. Okay. Read Raksha. I'll do one thing. I'll read 32 also. Then you read together. Ajayah, Ajayad, Gosavena, Goparajan, Dvijottamaihi, Vitasya, Chorubarasya, Chikirshan, Sat, Vayam, Vibhubu, Ayajayat, Ayajayat, made to perform. Gosavena, by worship of the cows. Goparajam, the king of the cowherds. Vijottamaha, by the learned Brahmanas. Vittasya, of the wealth. Cha also. Purubharasya, great opulence. Chikirshan, desiring to act. Satvayam, proper utilization. Vibhu, the great. The Supreme Lord Krishna desired to utilize the opulent financial strength of Maharaj Nanda for worship of the cows. And also he wanted to give a lesson to Indra, the king of heaven. Thus he advised his father to perform worship of Go or the pasturing land and the cows with the help of learned Brahmins. That is how Govardhan Puja started. He wanted his father to worship Go, that is Govardhan, where the cows are nourished, Govardhana. And in this way, he wanted the cows worship should be there, Govardhan worship should be there, and this he did with the help of Brahmanas. So Cha here indicates that not only did Krishna desire to use the accumulated Guru Bharasya wealth properly, but he desired also to break the pride of kingdom. Gos Savenaha refers to worship of the cows in place of sacrifice to Indra. Okay. So, who will be? Lakshadi.
हाँ माताजी, हरे कृष्ण। श्लोका 31। विपन्नान विषपानेन भूय भूजगाधिपम् उत्थाप्याय यद्गावस्तत्तोऽयं प्रकृतिस्थितम्। Translation: The Supreme Lord Krishna desired to utilize the opulent financial strength of Maharaj Nanda for worship of the cows, and also he wanted to give The inhabitants of Vrindavan were perplexed by great difficulties because a certain portion of the Yamuna was poisoned by the chief of the reptiles, Kalya. The Lord chastised the snake king within the water and drove him away. After coming out of the river, he caused the cows to drink and water and prove that the water was again in its natural state. Sloka 32. अयाज अयाज यद्गोसवेन गोपराजं द्विजोतमे वितस्य चोरुभारस्य चिकीर्षन् तदव्ययं विभुः. Translation: The Supreme Lord Krishna desired to utilize the opulent financial strength of Maharaj Nanda for worship of the cows, and also he wanted to give a lesson to Indra, the king of heaven. Thus he advised his father to perform worship of Go, or the pasturing land and the cows, with the help of learned Brahmanas. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. Since he is the teacher of everyone, the Lord also taught his father Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaja was a well-to-do landholder and owner of many cows, and as was the custom, he used to perform yearly worship of Indra, the king of heaven, with great opulence. This worship of demigod by the general populace is also advised in the Vedic literature, just so people can accept the superior power of the Lord. The demigod are servant of the Lord, deputed to look after the management of various activities of universal affairs. Therefore, it is advised in the Vedic scriptures that one should perform yajnas to appraise the demigods. But one should be devoted to the Supreme Lord, has no need to appraise the demigods. Worship of demigods by common people is an arrangement for acknowledging the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. But it is not necessary. Such appraisement is generally recommended for material gains only. As we have already discussed in the second canto of this literature, one who admits the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not need to worship the secondary demigods. Sometimes, being worshipped and adored by the less intelligent living beings, the demigods become puffed up with power and forget the supremacy of the Lord. This happened when Lord Krishna was present in the universe, and thus the Lord wanted to give a lesson to the king of heaven, Indra. He therefore asked Maharaj Nanda to stop the sacrifice offered to Indra and to use the money properly by performing a ceremony, worshipping the cows and pasturing ground on the hills of Govardhan. By this act, Lord Krishna taught human society, as he has instructed in the Bhagavad Gita also, that one should worship his Supreme Lord by all acts and by all their results that will bring about the desired success. The Vaishyas are specifically advised to give protection to the cows and their pasturing grounds or agricultural land instead of squandering their hard-earned money. That will satisfy the Lord. The perfection of one's occupational duty, whether in the sphere of duty or to oneself, one's community, or one's nation, is judged by the degree to which the Lord is satisfied. Hare Krishna.
Next verse. 1 second. Try to finish this today. वर्षतीन्द्रे व्रजः कोपः भगवन् भग्नमाने तिविभलः भग्नमाने तिविहब्लः गोत्रलीलाप्तपत्रेण रातो भद्रानुगृणतः वर्षति in pouring water Indre by the king of heaven Indra Vrajaha the land of cows Vrindavan Gopal Bhagnaman having been in anger or being insulted Ati highly Vibhalaha perturbed Gotra the hill for the cows Gotra Leela Atapatrena by the pastime umbrella Prataha were protected Agraha or sober one Anugrahata by the merciful Lord. So O sober Vidur King Indra, his honor having been insulted, poured water incessantly on Vrindavan, and thus the inhabitants of Vraja, the land of cows, were greatly distressed. But the compassionate Lord Krishna saved them from danger with his pastime umbrella, that is Govardhan Hill. चरच्छसीकरैर्मृष्टं मानयन् रजनीमुखं गायन् कलपदं रेमे स्त्रीणां मण्डलमण्डनः. The Sharat again, autumn Shashi of the moon, Tarai of the by the shining Mrishtam brightened Malayan, thinking so Rajanimukham, the face of the night, Gayan, singing Kala Padam, pleasing songs, Reme enjoyed, Srinam of the women, Mandala Mandanaha as the central beauty of the assembly of women. In the third season of the year, the Lord enjoyed as a central beauty of the assembly of women by attracting them with his pleasing songs in an autumn night, brightened by the moonshine. So before leaving the land of the cows, Vrindavan, the Lord pleased his young girlfriends, transcendental gopis in his Ras Leela pastime. Here was stopped the description of the Lord's activities. What is going to speak about? He doesn't know also. That is why he stopped. He did not explain more. First thing, he has not left Vrindavan. Vrindavanam padam na ekam na gacchati. That is why he did not speak more. He stopped there itself. Present the Bhakti on purpose. Third Canto, second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Remembrance of Lord Krishna. Here in the commentary, last verse, bringing joy to the face of Radha by rubbing away her perspiration with his hands, making her think that she alone was his lover. Krishna, beautiful as the full moon, singing softly, ornamenting the whole group of gopis, enjoyed Raslila with them. So let's see the king of the whole universe, the king of all the kings. What is doing? Rubbing the perspiration of Radha. Rajani Mukham, that means evening. Thus, one meaning is considering the suitability of the evening lit by the rays of the autumn moon. However, it has another meaning. He makes joyful Malayan, the face of his independent lover, Rajani Mukham, known as Swadhina Matruka, which was made bright by removing her perspiration, using hands of the male lover like the full moon. Saras Chashi Karaki. She became joyful, thinking, I alone am with Krishna, ornamenting the whole group of women with his presence during enjoyment of the Ras Leela Mandala Mandana. He enjoyed the most. But Rasa pastime is not even spoken much by even Uddhava. He doesn't dare to speak. Sukhdev Goswami doesn't even dare to speak the word Radha. He says, whenever I chant Radha's name, I fall down. That is why Anuradha, in this way, Araditaha. In this way, Radharani's name is very subtly told. Nowadays, Bhagavad Kathakars, they start speaking on Rasa, Ras deals. without having any qualification. And such qualified devotees, they feel themselves unqualified to even speak about Raslila, speak about Radha Krishna's Krishna. Okay, Aruna, can you read and complete this?
Hare Krishna. Text 33. वर्षतीन्द्रे व्रज कोपाद् भग्नमानेति विह्वलः गोत्रलीलातपत्रेण त्रातो भद्रानुगृह्णता. Translation: O sober Vidura, King Indra, his honor having been insulted, poured water incessantly on Vrindavana, and thus the inhabitants of Vraja, the land of cows, were greatly distressed. But the compassionate Lord Krishna saved them from danger with his pastime umbrella, the Govardhan hill. Hare Krishna. Text 34. Sharat शरच्चशीकरैर्मृष्टं मानयन् रजनीमुखं गायन् फलपदं रेमे रीणामण्डलमण्डनः. Translation: In the third season of the year, the Lord enjoyed as the central beauty of the assembly of women by attracting them with his pleasing songs in an autumn night brightened by moonshine. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Before leaving the land of cows, Vrindavana, the Lord pleased his young girlfriends, the transcendental gopis, in his Rasalila pastimes. Here, Uddhava stopped his description of the Lord's activities. Hare Krishna.
The sense the Bhakti and the purpose of the second chapter of the third canto. So, any doubts on this, you can ask. No doubts? Okay. Okay, you say we'll start with the second canto, everything over, all exam, Bindu?
Yes, Mataji.
So, any certificates you get or what? What it is? Bindu?
Mataji, up to 6th canto.
Acha, like that it is.
माताजी entire result साथ में आएगा ऐसा ना माताजी?
That is what the पहला ऐसे ही बोला था.
Where is this Bindu now? Bindu, can you unmute and tell what is the procedure?
Mataji, about Vaibhava, I don't know. I have to ask Atul Krishna Prabhuji about Vaibhava.
First canto, second canto, whoever has done the examination. So give you the name so that at least some small certificates they can get now.
I'll ask Atul Krishna Prabhuji.
Can we print or what? Then the total submit also. Was still 6 canto. A long way. The first canto was done, second canto was done. But actually, this what you're saying is true. We have to all 6 cantos, if they do, then only that is counted as Bhakti Yoga. Say one time you ask and finish it up.
Okay, Mataji.
Mataji, what about the presentation?
Yeah, that the aspect is also the presentation. So one day we'll have that also. Presentation. Because Bhakti Yoga students are supposed to preach. And so presentations are really important. Okay. We'll stop here. पंचकल्पतरुश्च पासं पठितं भावं श्लोको अवश्यं
Hare Krishna. Then pranam to all devotees.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all.